they was calling me a voodoo, and when they was trying to put down my spirituality and put down my spiritual practice and talk about my vagina and talk about my teeth, when they was doing that to me, this is what I was doing. I had my machete in my own lane doing the work so that I could be an example of healing and wholeness for the next generation. And I'm going to say this and I'm going to get off this live. When I was 13, maybe even younger, I was walking down Bourbon Street and I saw the girls in Papa Joe's on Bourbon Street. And that became my dream. That became my dream to work at Papa Joe's. A lot of girls, they say their parents brought them on Bourbon Street and said, "Oh, you want to end up like them." That wasn't me. I saw the girls on Bourbon Street and I said, I want to be there. And I'll never forget, I went back to the club when I was 17 years old to try to get a job there. And she wouldn't let me work there because I didn't have titties. She was a colorist because there were girls that were light skinned and girls that had different features, and those girls got hired. But because I had really strong Negro features, I had to come back with titties. And I went and got titties, and I came back when I was 21. And my world, it took me on a journey. Like it's been a journey, and I have seen so much and I've experienced so much. Going to jail and being treated less than human, being treated like an animal, being raped and being and having feces thrown at me and having urine thrown at me and having shanks put to my head and forcibly, forced to perform oral sex on people, like, being slammed up against cars and slammed on the ground by police officers and being forced to give police officers fellatio, and like my 20s were some of the best times of my life, but they were also a nightmare. And they showed me how strong I was, and I'm healing from that. And because of everything that I went through in my 20s and because of everything that I went through in my teens, I have been so consistent on being a voice in community that was not some cookie cutter voice that was not some cookie cutter voice that, can brag and say, "Oh, I went to a HBCU and oh, I'm educated," or, "Oh, I went and I got this degree and I got that paperwork," because I don't need validation from a system that has never saw it from my ancestors. I don't need letters behind my name or paperwork from a system that never saw it from my ancestors. The same system that is responsible for the reason why I was treated like a dog in my 20s. I don't need that validation to be powerful. I don't need that validation to have validity. And you don't either. You don't either. And so my voice is so that the next generation will not be broken like they tried to break me, like they tried to break my sisters, all of my sisters and my siblings who died without knowing who they were, without knowing how powerful they were, without understanding their full potential. My voice is for them. My voice is not for the ones who acquiesced to the system, who gave in to the system, who tried to play the game how it was. My voice is for those who consistently resist, who resist in the shadows, who resist, who resist, who resist, and stay authentic and stay rooted and stay true to who they are, no matter how much it costs. Cause all of us are not, cause all of us are not being killed by our brothers. No, trade is not responsible for unaliving all of us. Some of it is systemic oppression. Some of it is systematic oppression. And so my voice is for them. I get on here and I share and I tell my stories and I open up and I make myself vulnerable for them. I make myself vulnerable for the younger versions of me who were walking down that street and who went into the strip club not knowing that it was going to lead them into sex with a whole bunch of different people who was just going to use them for their use and try to infect them with diseases and get them strung out on drugs. They didn't know. They didn't have no clue. They was just trying to survive. They was just trying to be who they thought that they were meant to be. Because I know, because I was her. I know I was her. Running around here trying to fit into a white man's idea of who I should be, trying to fit into a box that told me who I should be. No, I'm the girl that was kept out of certain spaces. I'm the girl that was removed from certain spaces. But when you understand how society works, when you understand how people work, you understand that how society has treated me and how they've excluded me from things. You see how they always have all of these panel discussions. You see how they have all of these events and all these get-togethers, and every girl that's typically up there is either a college graduate or a high-level pick-me, a high-level coon. And so they will have a whole panel of pick-me's, but they're not going to have nobody on that panel. If you notice, in the trans community, we are the only community. Like when you look at black people, when you look at white people, when you look at the gay community, you got your Asada Shakurs, you got your true anti-establishment, you got your true abolitionists. If they're gonna be represented. They're going to be the black community, the black trans community is the only community you don't see that at all. Now you don't really expect to see it amongst our little, amongst our little pink siblings, because this reality benefits them so much. You don't really expect to see it. It benefits them. It benefits Caucasian people, no matter what you are, whether you queer. So you get it when you don't really see them trying to do this system in. But if you notice, in every other group, you see black revolutionaries who really be on some anti-establishment shit and really be on some remake the world shit and really be on some burn the world down shit. You see it amongst black women, you see it amongst black men, but you do not see it in the trans community. You do not see it. Every trans girl they put in front of that camera, every trans girl that's gonna get a platform in this reality is gonna be someone who is upholding this machine. And they ain't sent a renowned black trans girl who really about their life. She gonna be obsessed with materialism. She's gonna be obsessed with men. She gonna be obsessed with money. She gonna be obsessed with what Massa got.
And I would be remiss if I didn't mention vanity. The bitch is probably gonna be extremely vain.
That's the only type of black transsexual that's going to be centered in this reality. And you know why? A true black transsexual that was on that shit, that was really on that type of time, she could shift this fucking matrix. Cause that type of avatar speaks across the board. So you ain't gonna never, they're not gonna center that. Every girl that you see get in front of that camera, she gonna be here for it. She might speak on racism. She might even talk about patriarchy. But for the most part, this bitch gonna be trying to put a band-aid on some shit.